Hello everyone, this is Vishali. A warm welcome to all the attendees to webinar on how to prevent electrical fire and failure because of loose connection in electrical panels. Thank you for registering for the webinar and giving us the opportunity today to host you online. We ensure you that this will help you to learn a very useful and innovative technology. The organizer of today's webinar are Home Technical Solutions. We are based out at Mumbai and servicing customers all over India. Mr. Simir Doshi, the owner of Home Technical Solutions and the man behind the show, is serving Indian electrical industry since last 3 decades and is responsible for bringing out some of the best technologies to the Indian market and is to dedicated and enthusiastic of Home Technical Solutions. At Home Technical Solutions, we offer products and services focusing on core principles of ensuring the highest level of electrical safety, reliable testing, and online friendly customer monitoring service. Our system and solutions help customers in advanced planning of condition-based maintenance, thereby reducing cost of sudden shutdowns, failures, and accidents. Using state-of-the-art monitoring techniques and timely condition-based maintenance increases services life of assets and thereby reduces cost of operation to a significantly low level. We have expertise in electrical safety, condition monitoring, and testing solutions for transformer, electrical panel, switchgear, circuit breaker, cable, motors, generators, GIS, overhead lines, etc. We have presence all over India and SAARC countries except Pakistan through resident agencies, dealers, licensing agents, etc. These are our main products and solutions of Home Technical Solutions. Lightning protection system for overhead lines, synthetic and natural ester-based transformer oil, fire or overhead prevention for panels, complete range of testing and measuring equipment for substations, overhead line, factories, etc. Online moisture monitoring and drying system for transformer, online earth leakage and insulation monitoring, and fault location system, NGR monitoring system, online dissolved gas analyzer for transformer, medical isolation panel for hospitals, online fixed and portable partial discharge monitor for transformers, motors, generators, GIS, etc. Special tools for substation, transmission, and distribution, specialty surface coating, complete condition monitoring solutions for transformers, motors, generators, and GIS, long distance pipe leakage detection service, NDT testing, gas leak detection service, etc. We are expecting to have around 250 audience. In order to have a trouble-free webinar, we need to follow some golden points so that we get maximum from the event. So the 8 golden points are there on your screen. Please keep your audio off by muting yourself during presentation. You may keep your video off to improve bandwidth if you are facing any issue with the connectivity. The presentation will be around 60 minutes followed by 30 minutes question answer session. If you have any query during the presentation, you can note it down or post your question in chat. We will keep the questions from the chat during or after the presentation, depending on relevance. During question answer session, you can unmute yourself and ask the question directly to the presenter. You can send your questions later through email or WhatsApp. Contact detail of the presenter are shared on your screen. Now we would like to welcome Mr. Mubarak Khan to start the technical presentation. He is currently handling responsibility of Steamer Electric in India and SAARC. He is an electrical engineer with more than a 12-year diversified experience across domains and industries. He holds technical expertise in automation, condition-based monitoring, plant operation and maintenance, marine electrical and electrical safety. He believes that a person should be a lifelong learner and loves to read books. His favorite subjects are psychology, economics, and personal development, apart from innovative technologies and engineering. A warm welcome to Mr. Mubarak Khan. Sir, please start the technical presentation.
Thank you, Vaishali, for the nice introduction, and thank you, Om Technical Solutions, for arranging this webinar. Uh, the topic of today's discussion will be firepress, how to prevent electrical fires and failures because of loose connections in electrical panel. Okay. So before we start with the technical presentation, I want to make a special announcement that we are going to issue a we are planning to issue a participation certificate to all those who are interested in getting it. So for achieving the participation certificate, what we are going to do is we are going to send a feedback form to all of you. Okay. Once you fill the feedback form, in that feedback form you need to select the option that you need a participation certificate. When you select that option, after that we are going to send you a link. We are going to send a link for a small test on this particular topic. So all those who achieve more than 80% in that test will get the participation certificate. Okay, the test will be very simple, and before the test I will share you the technical catalog also for this product. So definitely it will not be so difficult to achieve 80%. Okay, so that will be the procedure. I wanted to do this because you for all those who want to get the certificate, they must actually know about the product properly. Okay, so that is why we are doing this one. So procedure is simple: appear for the test, and then once you achieve 80%, we will give you a participation certificate. Okay, thank you very much. So I will proceed with the further presentation. A little bit about Streamer Electric AG. It is a Swiss-based company, and the headquarters is in Chur, Switzerland. Chur is a part of Germany, which part of Switzerland, which is near Germany. Okay, so majority of the population in Chur are German speaking. The company was founded in 1996. It is having cooperation with 5 universities and R&D offices, having 6 offices, 77 distributors in 26 countries. Okay. We had around 180 employees of 9 nationalities in 6 different countries. In 2012, the headquarters was moved to Chur, Switzerland. Our presence: Streamer Electric headquarters and R&D office is in Switzerland. Then we have a Streamer RU, which is a factory and office which is in Russia. Then we have a factory and office in Thailand, in in UK. Then we have a Streamer India in China, in Wuhan, and then in Indonesia and Latin America. So all these places where you are seeing the pointers are the places where we have offices, and all the places where you are seeing green mark are the places where we have our installed products of Streamer Electric AG. Mostly Streamer Electric is dealing in various categories of electrical safety. We have products like LLPD, which is line lightning protection system for overhead lines up to 66 kV based on patented EasyQuench technology. Then we have Transect, online transformer moisture monitoring and drying system, enhancing service life of transformers and ensuring maximum safety. Then we have a product known as Firepress, which is a fire and overheating prevention system for electrical panels, avoiding contact and connection overheating and failure. And today we are going to discuss this particular product, which is Firepress. Okay, so once again, repeating the title. I am repeating the title again and again so that during the discussion we are clear on what is our motive of the discussion today. Okay, and if you are not achieving this, or if our discussions are diverting from this particular topic, you can remind me or we can discuss that. Okay, so we will have the discussions on this particular topic, and then we will have question answer session also focusing on this particular title of today's presentation. Okay, in 30% of the cases, the cause of fire is malfunction associated with wiring. Faults may be due to poor connection, improper selection of circuit breakers, switches, etc., old wiring, overloads, etc. And then there are other causes like loose connections, like what do you say, overloads. Overload is already mentioned. Overloads, loose connections, and leakage currents. Okay, and all these causes are they create a fire which can cause a significant damage to our systems. Okay, so what is a poor connection? What is a poor connection? A poor connection can be because of two reasons. Okay? Poor mechanical connection as well as because of the oxidation of the connection. What is a poor mechanical connection? In simple terms, we can say that if the connections are not tight, if your nut bolt or whatever connection you are using, if it is not tight, then your poor mechanical connection is there. Poor electrical connections may show up when the connections are not tight or dirt or other contaminations between contact surfaces. Now we have two type of connections in electrical systems. One connection is the bus bar or the cable lug which is coming and getting connected to the terminal block through nut bolts, right? This is one connection. We have a lug, we have a cable with a lug, or we have a bus bar and it is coming to a termination point and it is getting connected to through nut bolts. This is one connection. All right. There is another connection in electrical system which we are using is in the circuit breakers. Like we have a circuit breaker and contacts are making and breaking. When the contacts are making and breaking, at that time there is a connection and there is a break in the connection. Okay, in both these cases the issues can be different. The issues of loose connection can be different. For example, in a loose connection where you are using cable lugs or bus bars and we are terminating it on a terminal block, at that time the issue can be your connections are not tight or you have oxidation at the connections, means your connections have caught rust. These can be the causes. Secondly, if you are talking about the connection in a circuit breaker, that means your circuit breaker contacts are not making properly. Means if a particular 5 square mm area is supposed to be in contact with the other stationary contact, and lesser amount of area is in contact because of rust, because of what do you call, some pitting on the contact or carbonization on the contact. This also causes a quite significant overheating on the terminals. Okay, so we have seen two issues. One is a mechanical connection where you have a nut bolt or bus bar tightened on a connection, and second we have the circuit breaker contacts which are making and breaking, right, in that one. So these are two things and both have the common issue of the loose connection. If there is a loose connection, there will be localized overheating and eventually your contacts will burn, right? So we will try to evaluate, we will try to understand this scenario with an example. Okay, and this is an example which is shown here. We have an example of 240 volt power supply. Through a circuit breaker, it is being fed to a 12 ohm heating element. Okay, and we have a terminal block in between where the circuit breaker contacts and the heating elements are connected. Okay. Now, if whenever somebody speaks in the presentation in between, I get disturbed. Actually, I'm just trying to see what's happening. So that is why I would request everyone to keep your mics on mute so that I don't get disturbed because of that. Okay, I'll be really thankful to everyone if they keep your mic on mute. We have around 77 audience as of now, which is quite a large number, and I'm really thankful to everyone for joining. Okay, so please, I would request again, please keep your mics on mute. So we will continue. Danger of poor connection. So this is a particular example which we have taken, right? Now in a normal scenario, the power supply unit, the 240 volt power supply unit is supposed to supply power, and then circuit breaker and the terminal blocks are supposed to have zero contact resistance, right? And then we have the heating element, which will have around, which is having, for example, in this particular example, the heating element is having around 12 ohms resistance. Okay, so when you supply this power, because there is no contact resistance on terminal block or the circuit breaker, your power supply will directly come, 100% of the power supply will come across this heating element. And that is why the total current flowing in this loop will be around 240 divided by 12. That is the total loop resistance. So the current flowing through this loop will be around 20 ampere. Correct? So voltage drop across the heating element will be 20 amperes, the total current, multiplied by the resistance of the heater, which will be approximately 240 volts. And it is but obvious that because there is nothing else in the circuit, definitely the whole voltage will drop across the heating element itself. Correct? So power dissipated in the heater will be 240 into 20 ampere. 240 is the power supply voltage and 20 ampere is the current. That is power equal to current into voltage. So current is 20 ampere and voltage is 240 volts. So the power dissipated will be 4800 watts. Okay, and the power dissipated in the terminal block will be equal to 0 watt. Similarly, power dissipated in the contact of the circuit breaker will be 0 watt. Okay, now we will take an example when there is some abnormality in the system. So the same circuit having 240 volt with a 12 ohm heater in the line, but in this scenario we have a 12 ohm of poor connection at the terminal block. We are considering a poor connection which is causing 12 ohm resistance at the terminal block. Now what will happen in this scenario, we will try to analyze. As of now, in this particular circuit we have a 240 volt power supply, then we have a 12 ohm resistance at the terminal block because of the loose connection, then we have a 12 ohm resistance because of the heater. So what will be the total current flowing through the circuit? It will be equal to 240 divided by 12 plus 12. 12 plus 12, right? So 240 divided by 12 plus 12, which will be approximately equal to 10 amperes. Of course, there will be some losses, etc. So it will be approximately equal to 10 amperes. Now the voltage drop at the heating element will be equal to the voltage drop on the terminal block, which will be equal to 12, which is the resistance, multiplied by the current flowing, 10, which will be around 120 volts. So there will be a 120 volt voltage drop at the heating element and 120 volt voltage drop at the terminal block, the terminal block and the heating element. Okay, so the power dissipated in the heater will be equal to the power dissipated in the terminal block, which will be equal to 1200 watts. Now there are two things. First of all, your heater is not performing properly because it is not able to generate that much amount of energy, right? 4800 watt, it is not able to generate that much amount of energy. Correct. And second problem is with the terminal block. Now the 1200 watt of energy is being dissipated on the terminal block. Your heater is designed to withstand a large amount of energy and nothing will happen to the heater. But what about the terminal block? The terminal block is not designed to withstand such a large amount of heat, and that is why the contacts at the terminal block will eventually burn, or if there is a fuel near that contact, definitely it will catch fire. Okay, so this is a danger of poor connection which is there in every circuit basically. So this we have taken an example of a terminal block. Similar voltage drop can be at the terminals of the circuit breaker, and if this happens, either your circuit breaker terminals will burn, or if the spark is little bit higher, then the whole circuit breaker may also burn. Okay, so it is really a big danger. And recently we have heard in some industries, I don't want to take the name, we have heard in some industries in a 6.6 kV circuit breaker there was a spark because of loose connection which caused the complete circuit breaker panel to burn. Okay, which is causing a huge amount of financial loss to the company. And definitely if somebody was there in the vicinity, he must have got met with an accident. Now poor connections and contacts are vital. So what are the different places and points where we have the loose connections or where we have contacts? Okay, so first of all, circuit breakers, cable lux. If the crimping is not proper, IEC has given various guidelines to do the proper crimping of the cable terminals. If your crimping is not proper, you are not using correct size of lug or the correct size of crimping tool, then there can be a loose connection at the crimping terminal also. There can be a loose connection at the bus bar termination, which I mentioned earlier. There can be connection. See, this is one example taken of a circuit breaker. We discussed that circuit breaker contact terminals, right? We discussed circuit breaker contact terminal. We discussed this kind of nut bolt connections. But this is also one more kind of connection which is there in the electrical system, and that is also susceptible to the overheating. This is the jaw connection. So this is the female part of the circuit breaker, and the male bus bar, it comes and enters into this. And because this is a movable connection which can be removed and entered multiple times, that is why sometimes because of improper making of contact, this terminal also gets overheated. So this is one more application where we are getting a quite significant overheating in certain places. Okay. Now proceeding, what is the solution? So this is a solution explained in a single slide so that everybody understands the thing in a very clear and crisp manner. I will try to explain what it is. So fire press, what the system consists of. The system consists of three main components. The system consists of three main components. The first is remote fire prevention thermolabel, RPFT. Okay. Second component is known as fire prevention alarm, which is FPA. The third component, which is known as fire prevention concentrator, FPC. The first part, remote fire prevention thermolabel, looks somewhat like this. It is basically a sticker similar to a band-aid, a bigger band-aid you can call it. Okay. There are two parts in this sticker. The upper part is the indication part, and the lower part is the gas pocket. Okay. The lower part is of a thickness of around 1.75 mm, and the upper part is very thin, similar to a paper. Okay. This sticker needs to be wrapped around the terminals. You see, this is a lug, and this particular sticker is wrapped around the lug, like you put a band-aid on your finger, you wrap around it, right? So in the similar fashion, it is wrapped around the terminal lug. Okay. What are the different indications on this sticker? We will see. There are three pre-indication dots, as you can see. Here it is written. It is very small. If you are looking in the mobile phone, you will not be able to see. But if you are looking in the laptop, you will be able to see. There are three pre-indication dots, 50, 70, and 90. These three dots are there. And then there is an activation set point, which is 100 degrees Celsius. Please remember, there are four total points are there. Three pre-indication dots, 50, 70, and 90, and one set point, which is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now, whenever you install this particular sticker on the terminal block, first thing it will happen is it will adapt to the temperature of this particular lug. So what will happen is, whenever you wrap it in normal condition, all these three pre-indication dots are white. As soon as you wrap it, if your temperature of the terminal block is 70 degrees Celsius, for example, your 50 and 70 dots will turn black. Okay. If the temperature of the terminal is around 70 degree, then 50 and 70 dots will turn black. Okay. And it will remain like this as long as the temperature of the terminal block, it remains 70 degree. If the temperature increases and it increases beyond the third pre-indication dot temperature, which is 90 degree, at that time your 90 degree dot will also turn black. Okay. If the temperature drops from 70, it comes down to 50, at that time your 70 degree dot will not recover. It will not recover. It will remain black. So once there is a change in the sticker, if the white dot turns black, it is irreversible. Okay, it turns only one time. Now, you have installed this particular sticker on a terminal block, on a lug, cable lug basically, and then your normal temperature of the terminal block was 70. So the color of the sticker, it changed to 70, 50 and 70 dots turned to black. Now, for some reason, because of fault or overload or any reason, if the temperature of the terminal, it increases beyond the set point of the sticker, which is 100 degree in this case. We have stickers with different set points. In this case, it is 100 degree. So if the temperature of the terminal block it crosses beyond 100 degree, your sticker will release a signal gas. Okay, this signal gas is non-toxic and non-hazardous, non-flammable gas. This gas will be sensed by the FPA. So this is a function of FPA. FPA is basically a gas sensor and a communication device. Okay, so the gas which is coming out of the sticker is going to be sensed by FPA. FPA transmits alarm signal to FPC via RS-45. Now this FPA will sense the gas. If gas is there, it will give an alarm, and then it will communicate that change in state to a remote monitoring device, which is FPC, through RS-45 communication, and it is also having a dry contact which can be used for local annunciation. Okay, so it will communicate to RS-45 through the FPC. All right, and then FPC will display the status of all the alarm points, and it is having a capability to communicate to a remote PC through Ethernet or Ethernet port, Modbus TCP/IP. It can communicate to a local substation, or it can communicate to a fire alarm system or a local control department. So this is the complete configuration. In a particular system, we are going to install such kind of stickers on all the joints, on all the cable terminations. We will install stickers at all the cable terminations. In every cabinet, we are going to install FPA. In every cabinet, we are going to install FPA, and we will have one FPC to monitor status of all the FPAs. Okay. This is a system configuration. Okay. I know you must be having some doubts, but I'll wait for some time, then I will open for discussion. Okay. There is one more version. There is one more version of this FPA where you can remove the FPC and you can use the RS-45 directly in your SCADA. If you have any SCADA or control system where you can use the RS-45 directly, you can use that. Okay. So this is a second version. So I will wait for 1 minute now, and we can, like, if you have any question related to these two slides, we can discuss.
Hello, Mubarak.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Wasim here.
Yeah, this is
How are you?
Wasim. Yes, please, Wasim.
Yeah, I have one question. What exactly mean by dry contact? You want to say potential free contact?
Yes, potential free contact. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is that.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yes, Mubarak.
Yeah.
This is Manoj from BPCL here.
Yes, sir. Your name,
Yes,
sir?
Manoj Pawar from BPCL here.
Yes. Manoj ji, yes.
See, regarding this thermo label, suppose I have 3 cores like RYB. So I have to install 3 thermo labels on 3 core, or one is sufficient? Is how it works. This single device is capable of taking signal from 1 thermo label, or it can take from 3 also.
Okay, the answer to the first question. The thermo label needs to be installed on all the points which needs overheat monitoring. So we will install on RYB. If we have 3 joints on RYB, we will install 3, means we will install 9. For example, a cable is coming inside the panel. So there is one first cable termination, and then that termination is going to the circuit breaker. So we will install RFPT at the termination and then on the circuit breaker both. On RYB. Okay. Every joint we will need to install it.
Yes.
Yes, sir?
Yes. Then FPA devices, how many FPA devices for thermal level?
One FPA can scan all the stickers which are there in the same cabinet. In that particular cabinet, it will scan all the FPAs. One FPA is sufficient for all.
Okay.
You are saying that this temperature monitoring, once it will go to one region, then it will not return back. Means once it goes black, then it will not turn into white. Okay. So suppose in some panels where we have a load variation, so that might so happen that that temperature also that may vanish, but we'll find out that this black spot is still there. So that will be a problem for us.
Yes, sir. So the reply to this one is, whenever something heats, it is a problem. It means your insulation, if there is a cable, and even once if the temperature reaches beyond certain limit, there is a problem for the cable. Okay, if it remains for long time or short time, but there is a problem for the cable. Now
but that has suppose that has gone for once only, and then after that we have rectified the problem, but the this stickering is remaining same.
Yes, sir. Now see what you are saying. This is a problem, and we call it a feature. We call it an advantage that for example, in a plant during night time, you were not present there, and in the morning you came and you saw that the dot color has changed. Means yesterday it was 70, today the 91 is also activated. You will check the temperature, and the temperature is normal, it is 70 only. So what it means that during the night time, sometimes your temperature reached 90, right? Now you have a choice. Either to do the maintenance and investigate why that temperature shooted up. Okay, or you have a choice that okay, you know that it was normal, so no issues, so you can remove this sticker and put a new one with fresh dots.
That is one part of the story, but suppose some panels that have been in long use, and sometimes back it was down a black spot there, but after that things have been rectified by some other person. So we cannot be able to know that this is happening.
Yes, sir. So actually, in an electronic circuit, whenever the electronic things gives you an alarm, you reset it and it is normal, right? This is a chemical process. So if it changes once, you need to change the sticker. This is the process to reset it. Whenever you do the rectification, whenever you do the repairs, whenever your faults are cleared, you need to change the sticker.
Exactly.
That is the process
just to interrupt you, what is the cost of this thermolabel?
The thermolabel costs are like means it depends on the size, and it depends on the configuration, what temperature you are getting. So I cannot like upfront tell you what is the cost of the sticker, but it is somewhere between means 600 to 1500 something like, or 2000 depending on the size. It varies from around 500 to 3000. So I cannot tell you upfront what is the cost exactly, but this is the range.
That might be based on length of the thermolabel, right? Because
length of the thermolabel, size of the cabinet.
Yes.
Let's discuss technology pricing later on.
Yes, sir. We will discuss on technology pricing. It is better
pricing will be later on. Mr. Mubarak Khan, go ahead with the technology discussion.
Question, please.
Yes, sir.
This thermolabel is designed for HT as well. I mean, termination of 11 kV and 33 kV grade. And what about its insulation surety? Because it will wrap on insulation, right? Terminal of termination just below lug. So how it will affect the total insulation of termination or what is the rating of insulation?
Sir, its insulation rating is not declared or mentioned, but it is a plastic, so definitely it is much better than the normal air. Okay, but as of now, if you say whether we have tested the insulation physically on some particular, so we have not tested it like that, but it is a plastic and it can be used in the high voltage panels. It is being
Mubarak Khan, Dr. VP Singh here. It will not degrade or deteriorate any insulation resistivity or property of the cable.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is for different voltage rating. The grade is different or same one? This sticker is used.
This sticker can be used up to 33 kV systems. Okay. What we have designed, it can be used up to 33 kV, and we are not looking for applications above that. So that is why we have not thought in that area.
And it is purely indoor, I guess, because it emits the gas and it will be detected by FPA. So it must be enclosed system, right? Indoor
It
panel.
it is for indoor enclosed systems, correct?
Okay. And which kind of gas is generated from this sticker?
It is a non-toxic, non-hazardous gas. I will share you you can send me a mail later on. I will share you the MSDS. Okay, it contains the description of the gas. It is a patented chemical formula which they have developed for this particular application, so that it should be able to detect only this gas and not any other gas in a particular concentration. So that is why it is a complex chemical formula. So we can discuss that. Means I will share you the data sheet. You can view that one.
Okay. And for detection of this gas, this FPA, location of FPA, it is decided by your designer, or anywhere within the cubicle it may be installed. Because if we consider 11 kV or 33 kV panel, the distance clearance is maybe the major factor.
Sir, when you install FPA in a particular panel, definitely that clearance is one of the main deciding factors. Okay, so as for us, for the functionality of the FPA and fire press, you can install it anywhere. As per the functionality, you can install it anywhere. And now it depends on the customer. He should, like, not on the customer. Of course, we will discuss with the customer mutually, and we decide a proper place where we can do it safely. Like we should maintain a proper distance and clearance, and then we can install it. So it can be done. It is not, nothing is compulsory for us. So you can install it anywhere depending on the relevance. Okay, depending on the
One more
safety
question.
factor.
Yeah,
Yes, sir?
one more question, please. What is the how much time will it take to change the status of this temperature grading on the sticker? I mean, for how much time the temperature persists and then it will change the status? Because as one question was already asked just now, maybe the load varies for a moment, and it will reach a momentary temperature may rise and then it will come down. So it will not give the clear picture or exact condition, and it must not be the hotspot, even though the sticker will change the status. So time is the deciding factor, maybe.
Yes, I understood, sir. Now, first of all, the status of the sticker, the signal, for example, I am talking about 70 degree. Okay, if the temperature reaches 70 degree momentarily means 30 seconds or 1 minute. Okay, if it reaches 70 degree momentarily, nothing will happen. The sticker color will not change. It will not change. Okay, if 75 degree, it remains for 1 second, then the sticker color will change. You got my point?
Okay.
If the temperature just comes and goes, a lower temperature, nothing will happen. But if a higher temperature comes, then definitely the color of the sticker will change.
No. What is the duration? What exactly we are asking?
Okay, so if it is 70 degree, it may take 5 seconds, and if the temperature is reaching 75 or 80 degree, it may take 30 seconds or 1 minute, approximately.
To change the state, right? To change the state of.
Yes, change the state.
Okay.
Like if the dot is designed for 70 degree, but at higher temperature, definitely the color will change faster. At normal temperature means at 70 degree, in few seconds it will change the color, not immediately. And it's not electronics, again, it's not electronics, it's chemical. It will take time for the chemical to get released and come and get collected in the dot. So it's in that fashion.
What is the life of this sticker?
This sticker has an expiry date of 10 years, so it is having life of 10 years. So after 10 years, we need to change the stickers.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Mubarak. I am Samir Rana is here.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Hello. Yeah. So,
hello.
Mr. Mubarak, is there any human error? Suppose the sticker is not stick well on the cable termination. So our fire prevention alarm is getting working or not? Because somehow in that case the sticker is not stick well on the cables or termination. So our fire prevention alarm is working.
I understood your question. The first part is of this one, that even if it is touching at a small point, it's not that whether it is wrapping very tightly or not. Even if it is sticking at a small point, then also it will sense and it will release the gas. Okay, first. Secondly, when we install, we take proper care, or our authorized installers will install it. So they will install it properly. And the main part is, even if your sticker is not operating and your, suppose there is the sticker, there are various scenarios in this. The sticker is not sticking properly, or because of some reason the sticker got damaged and nobody corrected it. The sticker already got operated and nobody changed it. There can be various scenarios in which this sticker is not operating, and you are thinking and you are thinking that I've already installed my fire prevention system in the panel and it should work, right? So the reply to this one is, in all these scenarios where sticker fails to operate because of various reasons, your FPA is designed to sense high concentration of carbon dioxide. So if your sticker is not operating and your cable starts burning, then the smoke coming from the cable will be sensed by the FPA. Okay, so this is a second stage prevention which is being there. We don't call it a feature, but it is an additional advantage we get with the FPA. Okay.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Mubarak ji,
Okay.
when this thermolabel emits the gas, it travels some distance, right? So what is the maximum distance between this FPA device and thermolabel that is designed for?
Yes. Different stickers come with different distances. Different,
Okay.
like if it's not about the distance, it's about the cabinet size actually. The gas which is coming out of the sticker should fill the cabinet, the cabinet with a particular concentration. So we have different stickers for different cabinet sizes. If your cabinet is 1 meter cube, we have a different sticker. If your cabinet is 0.1 meter cube, we have a different sticker.
Okay.
Okay.
We have some two compartment, cable compartment and.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Whoever is not asking, I would request everyone except the person who is asking the question to please.
Hello, Mubarak, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please.
I have one question, like you mentioned about this thermal level. Okay.
Yes.
So what is the degree of protection of this? And if you are using in a food industry, there are the water. So what are the chances for water resistant and all?
So there are three parts. Okay, there are three parts of the solution. One is the sticker. Sticker is not an electronic circuit, so it doesn't need degree of protection, but it is like plastic, so nothing will happen to it with the chemical reaction or with water or with dust. Okay, so first part is the sticker. Second is the FPA and FPC. This FPC is designed to be installed inside the cabinet. Okay, it cannot be used in the outdoor applications. It is, I think, IP30 or something like this. I don't remember exactly, but it is something IP30 or something like this. So it cannot be used in the outdoor application. You need to install it inside. Okay. I think it is mentioned. Yes. Yes, sir. Any more questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is the sensing range between RFPT to FPA?
What is the
Sensing range, sir?
Sensing range? As I mentioned, the RFPT comes with different cabinet sizes. Okay, so if you use the proper cabinet size, like if your cabinet size is 1 meter cube, you will need to use a 1 meter cube sticker and a suitable FPA. So then your system will be proper. You got my point? That is the sensing range. Means you select the product according to the sensing range.
Sir, what is the minimum sensing range, sir?
Minimum sensing range. Minimum, it doesn't matter actually. Maximum matters. If you try to see properly, the maximum sensing range matters, and the maximum cabinet size which can handle as of now whatever we have designed is 3 meter cube. But if your cabinet is larger than that, so we can have a customized solution where we will install multiple FPAs at different locations.
What is the response time of FPA, sir?
It is instant. I cannot tell you milliseconds how much it is exactly as of now. I don't remember, but it is instant at the same instant.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question, Mubarak.
Yes, sir. Sunil, sir.
You have told
Yes,
that this fire prevention thermo labels are creating gases which are sensed by the FPC. Can you tell me the direct property of these gases, because these gases will get filled into the cubicle of that medium voltage switchgear. If we install these thermo labels in switchgear conductor, we stick it there, and if it liberates some these non-toxic gases, what is the dielectric property?
Dielectric property is better than air. It is designed to be used in the high voltage cabinets. So dielectric property is more than air actually. The exact figures I don't remember. So I'll share you the data sheet. We will see in that, and we can discuss this one on that. Okay. I don't remember the exact figure, but it is more than air. It is not like
dielectric property of gas.
Air, no ambient air. It is better than ambient air.
Okay.
You can send me an email later on. I will share you the data, MSDS for this one. So more things will be clear about it.
Yeah. Okay. I will send you the email.
Yes, sir. Please.
Mubarakji, I have a question. If this particular FPA is sensing gas and it is getting activated, then at a particular amount of gas quantity, this particular FPA will get activated. So, can you just tell us what is the particular amount of gas which is required for this FPA to get activated?
Okay, so the answer is each sticker is designed to fill. So I will explain in little bit more detail, like what we have explained before. Every sticker and the FPA is selected based on the cabinet size. Okay, first thing, it is selected based on the cabinet size. So if it is a 1 meter cube cabinet, so I will select a sticker for 1 meter cube, and I will select a FPA for 1 meter cube. And please, Nayan, please mute your mic, please. Nayan Patelji, please mute. Then when you ask question, then you can unmute yourself. Okay. So whenever this sticker activates, it will release a gas which will fill 1 meter cube cabinet with a concentration of 980 ppm. Okay. It will fill 1 meter cube cabinet with a concentration of 980 ppm. This FPA is designed to be activated at a concentration of minimum 250 ppm. Okay. So even if you lose some gas, then also it will be able to detect it. So that these are the limits. The gas which is released, it fills the cabinet with a concentration of 980 ppm. The FPA, it gets activated at 250 ppm. Okay. Now, Nayan, you can ask your question, sir, please.
Hello. What is the lifetime of this sticker?
10 years.
Is there any chemical reaction on that sticker?
On the sticker, there is nothing, but inside the sticker, definitely there are gas pockets, which gets released, but it is all sealed, so nothing happens nothing comes out. Whenever your temperature increases, the gas pockets, they burn, and the signal gas comes out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mubarakji, what I understand from the explanation that you gave is 250 ppm is something that is required for the FPA to get activated, and 980 ppm, it means almost 4 times extra is generated by the sticker. So even if we place the FPA, or by any means if the FPA is placed at a bit bigger distance or a larger distance, even then the FPA will get activated for sure.
Correct.
All right. Thank you, Mubarakji.
Thank you.
Mubarakji, Govind Das from
Yes, sir, please.
Is there any FPA and FPC? Wireless communication is there?
Between FPA and FPC, we don't have a wireless communication. We have a RS-485, but we can develop such a solution locally. we tried this one for developing a wireless communication between FPA and FPC locally. We tried it with LoRaN and Wi-Fi, and both were possible. So if we have such an application, we can do that. Cost thoda sa badega, but we can do that. As of now, with Streamer, it is not that, but we'll have to develop it locally.
Mubarak ji, I just want to ask one question. Do you have any tie-up with reputed panel manufacturers like L&T, Siemens, Schneider, ABB, or you have provided this system in their breaker compartment?
Sir, currently we are having one BPCL tender which is going on. For that, companies like Siemens and L&T and ABB, they bid it for this one. And this tender was with 5-press solution. Okay, they wanted a 6.6 kV vacuum circuit breaker panel with 5-press solution. Okay, so whoever wins the tender will buy it from us and he will install it. So already we had discussion with L&T, Siemens and Schneider regarding this topic. Okay, and we are soon going to have a meeting about Bina Panki project.
Okay, thank you.
And Panda sir, we also visited this Ambuja cement plant in Chandrapur, and there also there was some application for this 5-press solution. We have received the inquiry, but because of lockdown actually it could not, the order couldn't get placed, but maybe in few days we will get it.
Okay. You tell me how many FPA can be connected to the FPC?
FPA to FPC 32.
32 is the maximum limit, huh? And what will be the distance from the FPA to FPC cable distance, maximum cable
700
distance?
meters. 700 meters.
700
meters, yes.
700 meters.
If it is
700
beyond 700 meters, then cable will change. Or?
No, we will need a RS-485 repeater. With that repeater, we can. Yes,
okay,
we can get additional.
Yes. Good. Are you going to provide to MCW or what?
MCW, what it is, sir?
No, Maratha Cement.
Yes, Maratha Cement work. Correct. The inquiry is from Maratha Cement work only.
Okay. So it is under discussion, huh, for this thing.
Under discussion, yes. We have received the inquiry. We have quoted also. Because of lockdown, thoda aage nahi badha, so we will like.
It was from site.
It was from site, yes.
The Thane office.
And
site.
Yes. No, it was from site. No, I don't remember the name actually. Sood was, yes, Mr. Sood was there, and actually I gave a presentation in front of whole team, and then we received the inquiry and all. I also visited the Thane office.
Yes,
office.
I know you. I know.
Yes.
But this is a good. These things. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mubarak ji, do you have any wireless facility for communicating between FPC and substation local computer? Because I don't expect between FPA and FPC because they are in substation.
Wireless communication definitely we don't have as of now. Okay. But of course we can have a local solution developed for that. Similarly, what we develop between FPA and FPC, we can develop between the FPC and the computer. But yes, we have one facility where FPC can send SMS to one particular telephone number for if there is an alarm. So that particular facility is there.
Only one mobile number.
Only one phone number. Only one mobile number.
Okay.
But yes, communication things can be developed locally. That is not a big issue. We can develop that.
Moraji, there is one question from Mr. Vamsi. Suppose we have 100 plus in the machinery, does one FPA can detect multiple failures, or should we use multiple FPAs?
One FPA will be, yes, I understood the question. One FPA is sufficient for one cabinet. You understand, one cabinet means a thing with 6 walls. One bottom, one top and 4 sides. One FPA is sufficient for one cabinet. Okay, if the size is suitable, the size of the FPA and size of the sticker is suitable, one FPA is enough. No matter how many stickers you are using in that particular panel, it doesn't matter. It is sufficient. Okay.
Then,
Noelji,
Mr.
please share these technical details so that it will be good for use. This thing, sir. Please
Yes,
share
yes,
these
sir.
technical
Definitely.
details.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely we will share, sir. We will share. I'll share.
Mr. Sanjay Shevde has asked, most of panels have cooling fans installed. Does it affect performance of FPA?
It cannot be used in the panels with forced ventilation. We can only use this solution in panels with natural ventilation. With forced ventilation, actually we can make some arrangements, but so far we have not developed it, so I'll say we cannot. Okay.
Mubarak ji, one more question is there. Who are your competitors and where do you stay in competition? I just wanted to know.
Sir, this particular technology nobody else is having. Worldwide, we are not having a competition. We are having a competition with some people who are developing online temperature monitoring for live terminals in the cables with using fiber optic or wireless technologies. Okay, but that is a different kind of technology, and this is a different, and this is very, very much cost effective than those technologies.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, any more questions?
This sticker is sent further details from mail.
Pradeep ji, yes, you can speak.
And details through mail for further discussion.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. We will. I think
it is okay.
You must have registered with us, right? So we will send the details through email. We have your email address, etc. Okay. We have significant part of presentation remaining. So panels have cooling fan which cannot be disabled. Then how this system with vents? Sir, in the VFD panels, in the UPS panels, you have fans. So there actually FPA solution is not suitable. We cannot do it. But yes, in the circuit breaker panels, in the MCC, PCC, we don't have fans. In those places, we can use this particular solution. That is what it is. Otherwise, we'll have to make a separate chamber for this, for the terminal block. The solution, what we can do is, we can have above the terminals which we need to monitor, we have to make a small box, and that in that box we'll install the sticker as well as the FPA. But this one, it can be done by mutual discussion with the customer, but normally in general with the existing setup, it is not possible. Ankit ji, I hope the answer is question.
Yeah, Mr. Mubarak, I am Digvijay. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Actually, this technology, you are completing part of detection. Do you have any solution for suppressing or fire extinguishing also? Because this is one part. When for panels, if any fire happens, then extinguishing or this part is to be done. Do you have any solution added to this detection system?
Sir, it is a very good question, and not as Streamer is not having such a solution, but Ohm Technical is looking for a solution which can be really cost effective and as innovative as we have FPA for making the extinguishing solution for the panel. But so far we don't have, but you can contact Mr. Timir Doshi. I think he will be able to give a solution. He will be in a better position to give a solution for that one. Okay, as of now, Streamer is not having, but Ohm Technical, I think they can do. Let's talk. Okay. Timir sir, I think you should write your email address in the chat box, or I will write.
I mentioned this. Mubarak ji, there is one more question from Nidhi Sangam. Okay, I'll send my email ID, no issue, but there is one question from Nidhi Sangam. Okay, and we will reply to that query. Okay.
Yes, Nidhi Sangam. Yes, Nidhi Sangam. I read the question. One FPA for one panel. No. One FPA for one cabinet, not panel. Okay, one cabinet. So in a circuit breaker panel, busbar chamber, incoming chamber, cable chamber will be 3 different cabinets. Okay, so I will proceed. If you have any further questions, we have already spent 30 minutes for question answer. We will have some small break in the end also. So we will continue at that time with the questions. So now proceeding, standard scenario with fire. Whenever your systems are in place, okay, in a new system, the operating temperature may be around 25 degrees and it gets heated because of overloads, because of loose connections, because of any reason. We will take an example of a small cable. Okay, I will switch on the video so that we get a proper bandwidth. Okay, so in a particular cabinet, we take an example of a cable. So the cable gets heated and it's getting cooled and getting heated, and every time its insulation is getting deteriorated. A moment comes when insulation gets damages beyond repair and it starts to rapidly overheat. A time comes when your polymeric insulation, it starts burning. At this moment, if you have installed any aspiration system, it will get activated. Then you will have smoke, ignition, and then sustained fire. And if you have an existing fire detection system, it will sense in this particular zone. I will repeat again. When you have a new cable, okay, when you have a new cable or new equipment which is there, if it is getting overheated beyond the tolerable limits, and if your insulation starts to burn, then you will have smoke, ignition, etc. At this time, your existing fire detection systems will work, not before that. Right? Now, if we installed firepress solution, okay, your firepress operates in this range of 80 degree, 100 degree, and 130 degree. These are the three temperature ranges where the fire prevention system firepress works. Okay, so because firepress detects in this particular time period, this scenario is avoided, and you will never have any damage on your cable insulation or anything else. Okay, you will not have any damage. All right, so this is the way it is done. Now, with fire prevention system, whenever there is if you install it in a new panel, whenever there is a overheating in the first time, you do the repair and you make your system normal, and you'll never have any dangerous scenarios which are discussed in the previous slides. Okay, so this is the advantage of fire prevention system. Your systems will never get damaged because of overheating. Okay, now little bit more discussion about the thermo label. We have already discussed all parts, so I think things are clear. Okay, it is having a pre-indication dots of 50, 70, and 90. Then we have a set point at 100 degree at which the gas gets released. The signal gas name is Solkane 365. Okay, signal gas name is Solkane 365. If you need the MSDS of this particular gas, you can let me know. I will share the MSDS. Okay, this particular sticker is having multiple layers. There is a polymer film. There are thermo indication dots, composite material, and the protective film. So and we have micro capsules inside this particular polymer film, okay, which is having the gas pockets. Whenever it gets heated, these micro capsules, they burst and the gas comes out. One question nobody asked, that in a particular cabinet, if there are, for example, 15 stickers and you got an alarm from that cabinet, when you go and you visually try to inspect which particular sticker has got operated, how will you come to know? Okay, so the reply is, first indication is in that particular sticker all the three dots will be black, and the second indication, that sticker yellow part will get physically damaged. You will be able to see physically that yellow part is damaged. Okay, so these are the two ways in which we'll be able to detect which particular sticker has got damaged. Okay, now configuration of remote fire prevention thermo label RFPT. There are various sizes are available depending on the volume of the switchgear and depending on the conductor cross section. Okay, for example, 10 to 35 mm square conductor and 0.3 meter cube switchgear cabinet. So whichever is higher, if your conductor size is higher, we will use a higher RFPT, or if your cabinet size is higher, we will use the higher one. Okay, So we have RFPD A for 80 degree, 100 degree and 130 degree. So there are two ways in which you select, or three ways: volume of the cabinet, conductor cross section, and the activation temperature. Okay. So whenever you are ordering fire press, you need to provide me these three informations. Okay. It is having 10 years validity as we mentioned before. FPA also comes according to the cabinet size. Okay, different cabinet size are there for different FPAs. Now during the whole discussion, we discussed FPA and one FPA per cabinet, right? Now I will introduce to you one model of FPA, which is a multi-channel FPA. Okay, it is a multi-channel FPA. So which is having 4 external sensors in one particular FPA. So with this FPA, with a single FPA, you can monitor 4 cabinets. So as Nidhi madam asked this question sometime back, that in a circuit breaker chamber, we have bus bar chamber, cable chamber, as well as the incoming chamber. Different chambers are there. So in that particular area, you can use one FPA and you can install different sensors in different chambers, and you can monitor the circuit breaker panel. Similarly, if you have many cabinets next to each other, that time also you can install sensors in each cabinet and one FPA at the common location. Okay. All right. So this is a multi-channel FPA. When I go to the more detailed diagram, we will see that these points in this particular slide we have already discussed. FPA detects the content of carbon dioxide in protective volume. Gas concentration when only one FPT is triggered is around 980 ppm. The triggered threshold for FPA is 250 ppm. Got my point? So if some of the gas gets escaped because of the holes in the panel or because of the opening for incoming of bus bar or cables, no issues. Your FPA will still sense because it is having sufficient volume of gas available. Thresholds are needed to prevent the sensor from triggering from other gases. Okay. So your FPA will not detect any other gas, but it can detect products of combustion of cable insulation. Okay. As I mentioned some time back, if your cable insulation starts burning, your FPA will detect that also. Now any gas sensor needs calibration. So this also FPA calibrates its sensor for better selectivity by changing the zero level, zero drift once every few hours. Example, if the ambient air has a gas concentration of 220 to 30 ppm for 2 hours, the constant gas concentration FPA will set current gas concentration value equal to 0. So it gets self-calibrated every few hours. Okay. Now, what is a FPC? FPC configuration we will see. FPC is designed to receive signals from FPA, monitor the status of communication lines, register and display the values. FPA comes in 3 varieties. FPC comes in 3 varieties: FPC 220, FPC 220 M1, and FPC 220 GSM. Okay, FPC 220 can only display the values. FPC 220 M1 can communicate, display and communicate to the remote PC. FPC 220 GSM can display and send the SMS to a designated mobile number. Okay, so these are the 3 varieties of FPA: only display, remote communication, SMS. Okay. Now coming to one more solution. Okay, so far we have discussed remote fire prevention thermolabel and fire press solution which gives alarm remotely. But there are some places in our plant which are not enclosed panels, and we need to monitor the temperature of those points, like motor body, transformer body, solenoid valves, open switch gear, correct, and panel bodies from outside if you want to monitor. And in the force ventilated panels like VFD panels, UPS panel, etc. For such application, we have a solution known as visual fire prevention thermolabel. Okay, visual fire prevention thermolabel comes in different sizes. As you can see, it comes with 70 degree, 90 degree and 100 degree, 110 degree activation temperature with different lengths, and its feature is very simple. whenever there is a overheating, the color will change from white to black. So if you see visually, you will be able to identify that the temperature crossed the set point limit. Now suppose there is a motor in a plant somewhere around, okay, and you are not going every time and checking the motor, feeling it physically with your hand, and you are not doing thermography also. So what is the way in which you will be able to detect the overheating of the motor? So that is if you install such kind of sticker there, whenever you pass by that motor, you just have a look, okay, temperature is normal, no problem. Correct? We can see just temperature is normal, no problem. But if it is getting overheated, suddenly you will notice, oh, it is getting overheated, we need to take a corrective action. And secondly, if it is getting overheated in the night time and during daytime it is normal, then also because this change is irreversible, you will be able to identify that. When the color changes to black, you can simply change the sticker, do the repairs and change the sticker. That's it. Okay. So this is a solution, visual fire prevention thermolabel, which can be used for places which can be viewed visually. If you can see that thing visually, you can use it there. Now comparing
Yes. Before going to next slide, can you take the slide number 27? Just small question. 27.
27.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not monitoring the slide numbers. I don't know.
Okay. Actually, the question is the auxiliary supply requirement of FPA is 24 volt DC, and that is that 24 volt DC comes from FPC. Is that true or what?
Okay.
What is the auxiliary supply requirement of FPA? How that
FPA auxiliary supply required is 24 volt DC. One FPC can power up to 10 FPAs.
Okay.
One
And the
FPC
next
can.
question is okay.
So the thing is that FPC takes input from around 32 FPAs, right? But it can power only 10. So for rest of the FPAs, you will need power supply, external power supply.
Okay. And what is the thermal withstand capacity of FPA? Because suppose I install the FPA in cable chamber itself, and there is a short circuit or flashover, huge amount of energy will be released, heat will be there. So how much the thermal withstand capacity of FPA?
Sir, it's not designed to withstand fire or flash, but we'll have to see the data sheet what it is.
Okay, means if there is a flashover, we have to replace that FPA also.
Yes. If there is a flashover, nothing can protect any. Means everything will go.
Okay. That's it.
Flashover means, see, the temperature of the flashover is 3 times the temperature of the sun's surface. Okay, that is too high.
Yes.
If there's a flashover, everything goes.
Okay.
Okay, so we go to the competitive analysis. I'll cover it very briefly. There are different solutions for fire prevention of the panels. The firepress we have already discussed. There is a arc fault detection device, but arc fault detection device is only for the arc, and arc is very small portion of the fires which are there in the panels are because of arc. Otherwise, mostly they are because of overheating. And secondly, we have fire alarm system, and fire alarm system, as we see, it only acts when damage is already done. It only acts when the damage is already done. Firepress is suitable for all types of wires and contacts. It can communicate remotely, and it protects potentially dangerous places. Okay, so this is a comparison between the arc fault detection device. Means AFDD and firepress are two different applications. Arc fault detection device is for arc flashes, not for overheating, slow overheating, and this firepress is for overheating, not for arc flash. Arc flash, everything will get damaged, and arc flash detection requires very fast response, which is designed in the AFDD, not in firepress. Then the normal things which we are doing for monitoring overheating of the terminals and different points and areas is the thermography camera. But as we know, we will compare our solution with a thermography camera. Firepress works round the clock. Thermography, definitely it works only at the time of inspection. Firepress allows to check the equipment is in locked explosion proof enclosures and high voltage panels. However, the thermography camera doesn't allow to check the equipment in locked explosion proof areas. Some people are provided the solution with IR window, but that IR window is compromising with the insulation integrity of your panels. So that is why IR window is not allowed in some of the industries. In fact, I have seen in the Ultratech cement plant, they said IR windows are banned for us now. That's what it is. And secondly, even if you are using IR window, your IR window can give view to a very small section of the panel, and there are so many bends and turns in the bus bar, and many places which are sensitive to heating are not accessible visually. Even if you open the panel, your thermographic camera cannot reach there, but faults are at all the places. So definitely we need, बोलते हैं ना कोने कोने में जाके, it should monitor every corner of the panel. So that is why. Now checks all spots at the same time. FP fire press, it checks all spots at the same time. In thermography, the it doesn't check all spots at the time. One means you will open one cabinet, you will check that, then you will open second cabinet, you will check that. Secondly, for checking the for one particular terminal to be at a certain abnormal temperature, the load of that particular terminal should be at least 60%, which is not always possible. Loads are varying from different ranges, and sometimes loads are not there also. Okay, and it does not depend on human factor. It is doing 24/7 monitoring automatically, and fire press, this thermography depends on the human factor. Then scope of application, wherever there is a switchgear electrical panel, but especially where there is explosion protected electrical equipment, because the technical staff cannot open the explosion proof housing during operation of the equipment and cannot check the equipment by thermal imager. Same for high voltage also. Okay, systems with expensive backup power supply, because it is necessary to find weak points of the system as soon as possible and avoid re-off the main power supply. Third application is the system where stopping of the process is not allowed. Okay, so in this application also we can use this. So how it looks like inside the panel and how do we install it? This is a simple application. So we see this is we will install, wrap it around each terminal, as we can see in the low voltage distribution box. We will wrap around each terminal. Okay, all these yellow parts are the thermolabel stickers, and then we have a FPA which is installed here. Okay, then again a little bit higher MCC panels, we will see the stickers will be installed in this fashion. And your here we have used the multi-channel FPA. This FPA, these two are sensors, and then we have a FPA here. Okay, and then in a 6.6 kV switchgear panel, we will install at the contact terminations, and the FPA will be installed in the same cabinet. I hope this, yes, it is visible. Okay, then example of a 11 kV switchgear panel, we have incoming chamber, bus bar compartment, right, metering cabinet, circuit breaker cabinet. In each cabinet we will install the sensors. You see all these black parts are the sensors. These three sensors are connected to the FPA. This is a multi-channel FPA which can accommodate up to 4 sensors. So these three sensors are connected to this FPA, and FPA is communicated to a remote PC. Okay, and this is how it looks like inside the panel when it is installed on the bus bar. Okay, so this is for the 11 kV switchgear panel. I will share the application note document with you, so you will get a better understanding. On different switchgears, we have different configuration. All these places where we have this yellow are the places where we have installed the stickers. Okay. Now this is the overall configuration explained in a simple diagram again. Okay. While I explain this, if you have any small queries, you can ask. So this particular example is taken over 4 cabinets. Okay, in 4 cabinets there is one bus bar cabinet, and there are 3 chambers. We will install RFPT on incomer and outgoing of the circuit breaker, and at all the joints in the bus bar chamber. We will install sensors in each cabinet, in circuit breaker 1, circuit breaker 2, and a bus bar chamber. And then we will have one common FPA which will monitor all 4 cabinets. Okay, and in the second diagram we can see this FPA, we have 4 sensors which are installed. We will have similar sensors which will be installed side by side in such different configurations. Again, all these FPAs will communicate together through RS-485 communication, and then it will be remotely communicated to a FPA. This is a complete layout of a fire press solution. Okay. Takeaways: fire press works earlier than any fire fighting system. detects points of overheating before the dangerous situation, 24/7 monitoring of the equipment, allows to inspect the network, equipment, or quality of repair. Convenience, it is very easy to install the system even in existing system, can be connected to SCADA via Modbus, real-time notification via SMS or event log, has dry contact output for connection to external system or local enunciation. It is very innovative solution, no competition worldwide, having a patented material formula, validity period is 10 years and absolutely safe and non-toxic. Okay, so now I will hand over to Vaishali to have a small discussion about the upcoming webinars of Home Technical. Then after that we will further have one more question session and some small part about particular session. Vaishali, please.
Thank you, Mubarak sir, for such a nice presentation. I hope the presentation was clearly understandable to everyone. At least I understood it well. And now I am become well versed with Cypress technology from Schema. Right, sir?
Right.
We are having
Now you can go for presentations. Huh?
Yeah, sure, sir. We are having some such interesting webinars from various technology experts. Few webinars are from Steamer Electric AJ. Here, for transformer, moisture management of power transformer, and for LLPD, for overhead line, how to eliminate hazards of lightning strike on overhead lines and ensure zero failure and trip.
So these are more webinars from Streamer Electric side. So our team will invite you. Please join these webinars whenever they are arranged. And if you want to arrange it for your organization, you can contact us. Yes, Vaishali. Sorry for interruption, please.
Yeah, no problem. Not an issue, sir. Yeah, we have Home Technical Solution, authorized representative of some of the most reputed and technological advanced brands across the world. We have more upcoming webinars on various topics, as you can see on the screen. Please let us know your topic of interest so that we can arrange a webinar dedicated for our organization. Moreover, we are arranging webinars open to all on this topic, for which we will be inviting you. Please attend the same. The webinar topics are online condition monitoring of transformer, online dissolved gas analyzer for transformer, how ester oil are best choice for your transformer, online partial discharge monitoring for power transformer, condition monitoring of motors and generator, online partial discharge monitoring for motor and generator, online partial discharge monitoring for GIS, testing equipment for your substation and plant machinery, insulation monitoring with automatic fault location system for underground system, leakage or residual current monitoring system for AC, DC and mixed AC-DC grounded system, electrical safety in hospital operation theatre, power quality monitoring detection, analysis and mitigation. I would like to thank you again for attending the webinar. I am sure you must have liked it and understood it well. If you have any doubt, please ask during the question answer session. If any of your doubts remain unanswered, you may also write it on email ID puja@hometechnicalsolutions.com. We will try to solve your queries to the best of our capacity. We are going to share a feedback form after the webinar. We will request you to please fill this same. As announced, we are planning to issue a participation certificate to all those who are interested. For getting this certificate, you will need to appear a small test of MCQ, which will be scheduled on Saturday by June 2020 at 5 p.m. Certificate will be issued only to those who get more than 80% marks. For attending the test, you will need to have first fill the feedback form. And in the form, you will need to select an option that if you want to appear for a test or not. Now I would like to invite Mr. Timir Doshi, the Managing Director of Home Technical Solution and the man behind the mission to share few commercial technical aspects of the solution. A warm welcome to Mr. Timir Doshi.
Hello, thank you, Vaishali. Thank you, Mr. Mubarak. It was a very good, informative session. So I am Timir Doshi. I am Director of Solutions, and we feel proud to be associated with Streamer. Streamer Electric is a very, very well-known company in the field of electrical solutions. They are the producer of various technology in electrical sector, which will provide the safety of electrical assets against lightning, fire, moisture, and so on. Om Technical Solutions as a whole, we are providing various solutions for panels such as insulation monitoring relays, earth fault monitoring relays, neutral grounding resistance and monitoring relays, thermal cameras, and so on. To add, Streamer is one of the very good solutions for the panels. We are a leading supplier of various technologies for assets such as GIS, transformers, cables, transmission lines, whether it is medium voltage or EHV, and so on. So, any case, in any requirement for anything related to electrical testing and measuring or condition monitoring solutions, please do contact us at Om Technical Solutions. Thank you once again for all to give your precious time, and I'm just looking forward.
Thank you, Simir sir. You may send your inquiries on pooja@omtechnicalsolutions.com or sales_india@simmer-electric.com. So without any delay, we should begin with the question answer session. So if you have any questions, please ask.
So thank you, Vaishali. Yes. Thank you, Vaishali, and I would like to thank everyone on behalf of Streamer Electric team sitting back in Switzerland for attending this webinar. So now we can go ahead with the questions, please. I have some questions in the chat also. I will take some of them. How end user can decide activation temperature to select correct FPA? Normally, anything above, see, if you tell us with our experience, definitely we will be able to give some inputs. Okay, with our experience, we will be able to give some inputs. For normal cables, motors, solenoid valves, etc., any temperature above 90 degree or a temperature of 100 degrees is hazardous. Okay, so whenever you do it, we can guide you on that. And secondly, if you have moreover, there are guidelines from the switchgear manufacturers about the maximum temperature which your bus bars can handle. So you can view that also. Okay. I hope you understood Mr. Digvijay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I got answer.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Any more questions? Any more questions? You can. I would request everyone to please send a test mail on this particular email ID so that we can send you more technical details. Anyway, I have your email addresses, so I will send on that. But if somebody who has not registered has joined the webinar, can send a test mail on this email ID or send a WhatsApp to me or to Om Technical Solutions, and we can handle that. Moreover, you can follow us on LinkedIn. You can follow Streamer Electric at LinkedIn. You can search simply Streamer Electric, so you'll find that. Otherwise, you can follow this link, linkedin.com company Streamer Electric, or you can follow me also. You can search me on LinkedIn. You will find it, and you can go ahead with that. Okay. So please follow us on LinkedIn also, so that we are providing regular updates, and for the next webinars also we are going to announce on LinkedIn. Any questions we can take now, please.
Mubarakji, you said that this FPA detects, apart from that the thermolevel gas, it detects smokes also, right?
Yes.
Yes. So what is the this smoke detection principle and the thermolevel gas detection principle? This must be different, or is it the same?
Sir, actually there is a special sensor which is designed for detecting the Solgen 365. Okay. And in that gas sensor, they have kept a provision that if there is a heavy smoke, at that time be able to detect that. The principle of it is a chemical drift principle, which I am not so much expert of that particular this gas measuring technology, so I cannot explain it. But it is a kind of chemical drift principle for detection.
Okay.
Okay. Any further questions, sir?
Supposing in the panel where the cable is connected, the adjacent panel, that fire has come out. So that fire affected this wood panel. So can these things can be impacted in this panel? Can we know?
It will detect. It will detect. If there is a fire in the nearby panel, because of the heat of the fire, that heat will be too much, and it will cause the sticker to burst, and then that sticker gas will be sensed by the gas sensor. Secondly, if the smoke of that panel it comes inside this cabinet, then also it will detect.
Okay.
In both ways. Yes.
Mubarakji, Om Technical Solutions is authorized for Streamer Electrical, authorized dealer, or what exactly?
Yes,
what relation you?
Yes. They are authorized representatives of Streamer Electric for India and SAARC.
Okay, dealer also means we can buy the system from them also.
Yes, you can buy the system from them, definitely. That is what we know.
Okay.
Thank you, Sanjay sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mubarakji, there is one question. There is one question from Mr. Digvijay Solanki.
Digvijay, in the chat, I am not able to see the question.
Achha, how an end user can decide activation temperature to select correct FPA?
That I have already answered.
Sorry,
Yes. Okay. Any more questions? Shirdi Sai Electricals, Kadapa. Oh, Pawan Kumar. I have been to Shirdi Sai two times at least. Pawanji, thank you for attending the webinar. Thank you everyone for attending the webinar. I think most of the questions were answered during the presentation, so we don't have many questions now. So I think we can close. Vaishali?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I think we can close now.
Yeah, sure. There is
Yes.
something in the chat. Okay, sir. There is no more questions, I think.
Thank you, Digvijay ji. Thank you very much. So I hope there are no more questions. We have already crossed the time limit of 4:30. So thank you very much, and thank you for attending the webinar. I am really thankful. Okay, thank you Vaishali and Timir sir and the whole team of Om Technical for being present and for organizing this webinar. I am really thankful because they have invited a lot of people, and a lot of people have attended also. Thank you, Timir sir. And we are closing.